Chicago. Do you folks know what the tallest building in Chicago is? Sears Tower. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later coming back down the South Branch. Now, the AM Center stands at 1,136 feet tall, and it was originally made out of 43,000 marble-clad panels that were cut far too thin to endure the severe weather changes here in Chicago. The marble began to buckle and crumble. So in 1992, they did an $80 million renovation on the building that's now made out of North Carolina granite panels. Centennial Fountain here on our right. It was built in 1989 and designed by Dirk Lohan and is illuminated every night with over 100 high-intensity floodlights. And this is a tradition that goes all the way back to the first day that the Wrigley Building opened. Michigan Avenue Bridge was also part of Daniel Burnham's 1909 plan of Chicago, but it was built in 1920, designed by Edward H. Bennett in a Beaux-Arts style. I'm going to talk about our bridges in more detail a little bit later as well. Now, one of the newest additions to our beautiful spot west here is Trump International Hotel and Tower, being designed by Adrian Smith, formerly of Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, one of the world's largest architectural firms based right here out of Chicago. Trump Tower is going to stand at a magnificent 1,000 feet. Now, that's with the spire on top. Without the spire, it's only going to stand at 1,170 feet. It's made out of shimmering stainless steel and has a glass curtain wall. If you look up at it, you'll see it has 3 elegant setbacks, and those setbacks are reflecting the height. In design, the round cast concrete forms were an obvious reaction against the glass and steel structures like the IBM building that were becoming predominant. Now, to get professionals who are working in the city to live closer to their jobs, Marina City was advertised as a city within a city. When they were putting these pilings in the river in 1991, unbeknownst to them, they had accidentally punctured a very small hole in an underground tunnel system directly underneath the river that was used in the early 20th century to transport coal and goods. But by this time, this tunnel system was completely abandoned and forgotten about, and crew members had no idea that this tunnel system even existed and went on their merry old way, not realizing that they had done anything wrong. Throughout the winter months, this small hole began to crack and expand, and on April 13th of 1992, 100 bridges, one of 4 of the double-deck bridges along the Chicago River, one of 2 that has an L track up on top. Were originally designed to take people to the World's Colonial Exposition of 1893. Now, many of our bridges along the river are called trunnion bastille bridges, which have leaves that rotate on a shaft, or trunnion that's located on the shore. A complex system of counterweights, gears, and electric motors operated by a bridge tender lifts those leaves upwards and away from the sea level. You'll be able to see those vents. That's where the train is actually sitting. That's where the trains come in and out. But there's something else that's really interesting about this structure. On the southwest corner of this building, there are switching tracks to the railroad. Because of those switching tracks, when they built this structure, they were unable to put in foundation piers or caissons into the form is adapting to its lot size. You can see this building here is imitating the natural S-curve of the river. Another grand scale Art Deco style building in front of us on the right across from the bridge. This is our old post office. The materials, which is why these older buildings here have many windows. The survival of these buildings today is a tribute to the solidity of the construction. When the printing facilities took their business out to the western suburbs in the mid-70s, they left these buildings here abandoned, and they've now been converted into loft-style condominiums or soft businesses destroyed, leaving 100,000 people homeless, and over 300 people lost their lives in this fire. Now, although the city was devastated by the fire, it played a pivotal role in the architecture here. Because Chicago was considered a blank slate, it was able to reinvent itself as the great modern metropolis that it is today. Alrighty, did you guys get some good pictures? Yes? No? How about this skyline, huh? Hi. I'm your tour guide. To financially support this building during the off-season of the opera. On the opposite side of this building is Wacker Drive, where there's a grand colonnade that has architectural ornamentation that reflects music, theater, and dance. Now, we've seen some beautiful designs by Graham Anderson, Probst & White. This one here, our old post office, the Merchandise Mart, even the Wrigley building. Fantastic building. Graham Anderson, Probst & White, very diverse. They also designed this building here. 4 stories tall and has a 17-story Belvedere up on top. That Belvedere at one time was a speakeasy for Al Capone. It was called the Stratosphere Lounge. Today it is the office of the architect. A glass steps that was designed by Mies for a structure that was to be built in Berlin. Mies at the time, though, was working with a German experimental